School is back, summer is over, and now you have to listen to your English teacher waffle about Shakespeare every single day of the week. But what it also means is exams, and I'm going to assume since you clicked on this video, that is something you struggle with, and now is finally the year for you to make that academic comeback, but you're unsure how to go about doing it. But worry no more, because today I will go through all the strategies and tactics that I used myself to study like a G and to go from F's to A's. Everything I've said in this video is tried and tested, and I did it myself. In my leaving certificate mocks, I received 320 points, and then just 2 to 3 months later in my actual leaving cert, I received a score of 476, which is over a 150 point increase. And for anyone who's not Irish, the leaving certificate is our equivalent of your big high school exams at the end of the year, and the maximum points you can receive is 600 for context. But enough of that, let's get into what you need to do now to improve your grades. Firstly, when it comes to study, it is quality over quantity every single day of the week. I mean, let me give you an example. How many guys or girls do you know that says they studied 5, 6, maybe even 7 hours a day before the exam, and then somehow they end up doing worse than the guy who claims he barely even studied or only studied half an hour to an hour? That's because the time you study does not matter, but instead it is what you are doing during that time that is more important. Now, why is this? Why is this that the guy who studied less did better in this given example? And I know you could use the obvious answer of, oh, but he's just smarter, it's genetics, he has more natural intelligence. And yeah, sure, maybe that is the case, but what you have to remember with school is it's not an intelligence test. This is not measuring your IQ. Instead, it's a memory test. So how was he able to remember more things about biology or history or whatever subject you're doing? Because the other guy was in a flow state. And for those of you that don't know, a flow state is basically what is defined as being in the zone, when your mind is so focused on one singular task and there's zero distractions. Like, for example, how many times have you said you're going to study for an hour, or you're not going to stop until you get this piece of homework done, and all of a sudden your phone's there on the table and you get a notification? Oh, my friend texted me, let me just respond to him. And then, oh, you see a notification from Instagram, you might as well scroll there and check that out. And oh, would you look at that, someone sent you a TikTok video, I mean, I have to check that. And oh, KSI Logan Paul. Like, you get distracted so easily, and then your willpower is completely sapped, and you wonder why you've spent 3 hours and written 2 sentences for your essay that's due tomorrow. Something that should have taken you only 30 minutes has now taken you multiple hours to complete. And this relates back to the example I used earlier of the person who claims to study 5 to 6 hours a day. No, you don't. No one does. They may have been sitting down here at this desk with this copy in front of them on a laptop claiming they're studying, but when you look at the actual time they were focused and in the zone, it's probably only 30-40 minutes. So now naturally the question becomes, how do I enter a flow state and maximize it to get as much work done as possible in the shortest amount of time? Well, firstly, you need to eliminate every single distraction possible. That means get rid of your phone when you're studying. That means go to a quiet place where your family can't distract you, so your brain's not taken away from studying because your little brother's raging on FIFA. Don't be chomping on a pack of Cheetos or eating some M&Ms while you're studying. Just pure focus, you and the copy, you and the pen, that's it. And this is going to be very hard, especially when you consider stuff in our society like TikTok, video games, junk food, etc. And your mind will try to wander, but you need to fight as hard as possible to snap back, to avoid daydreaming about your favorite video game or the girl you have a crush on, and just focus on your work for as long as you possibly can. Step 2, study smarter, not harder. I mean, look at the size of all the textbooks you have. They're fucking massive. They're almost as big as my biceps here. They're huge. There's no possible way you're ever going to learn everything in that book. And guess what? You don't have to. So this is where time management becomes very important in regards to studying. You need to allocate your time wisely and spend the vast majority or the bulk of your time studying stuff that's guaranteed to come up and the stuff that makes up for the majority of your marks. For example, if you have a project that's worth 20%, I'd spend a lot of time doing that instead of spending all your time studying one chapter like amoeba in biology, for example, that's far less likely to come up. A good way you can do this and identify what questions are most likely to come up is by looking at your past exam papers and seeing what questions are typically asked the most and what questions on certain topics are frequently asked. Additionally, you can look up YouTube videos from experts and teachers, which is something I did myself. And yes, I know it's a gamble, but if you put enough research into it, then it's an educated gamble, and it's one that I'm willing to take, and I think you would be too, as it'll save you a lot more time, because believe me, you do not want to be that guy that knows a little bit about everything, but not enough on one singular thing to give a proper answer and to get adequate marks. Step 3, consistency. Now, I don't want this video to be mental masturbation where you receive a massive adrenaline rush from the stuff I'm saying, but don't actually act on it at all. No, that's not what we're here to do. I want this video to be the first small step you take towards becoming consistent with studying and constructing a well-regimented study routine. Because if you're serious about wanting to improve your grades, then you need to be consistent and to do at least something every single night. Go over your days now, your schedule, what times you go to the gym, if you work, what times you're working at, school, all of that stuff. Adequate times for you that you can follow, not only for one day or for the next week, but for the rest of the year. I want you to identify the smallest steps that you can take right now, so small that you couldn't possibly fathom skipping it, and then afterwards we can work towards building it up. You see, your study routine, just like everything else in life, like the gym, your work, business, whatever, should all be progressively overloaded. That means start as small as possible and gradually work your way up. Be realistic. Don't listen to all this. Grab out a pen and paper and start writing down that, yeah, on a Thursday after coming back from school and the gym, I'm gonna cram in 4 hours. No. You immediately starting off with hours of study straight away would be the equivalent of some fat guy going to the gym for the first time, whacking 100 kilo on the bar and trying to bench it for reps. That bench is gonna kill him, and you'll want to kill yourself if you try to study for 4 hours. So be realistic, lower your ego, and aim for something that's achievable at first. Then work towards building it up with time. Also, it goes without saying, but the more focused you are in class and the more you actually learn by being present in that environment, the less you'll have to do when you get home and the less you'll have to study. So just keep that in mind. If you implement these 3 steps and follow them seriously and give it your best effort, I guarantee you'll go from failing every single exam to acing every single exam. That's all I've got for now. If you guys enjoyed, it would mean the world if you went down there and left a like and a comment. More videos coming soon. I'll see you later.